Well, with me is Colin Povey, who studied painting and printing here at the art school. You graduated about a decade ago, I understand it, Colin.
Right, yeah.
You've had a chance to have a wander around today. What have you seen? What do you think?
Yeah, I was in town today and I thought I'd just come up and see what the damage is. And I couldn't get too close, but what I saw was really bad, sort of like an empty shell. And I spoke to a fireman, and what he had to say was pretty bleak, to be honest. He says the fire was a lot bigger than last time, and it's affected the whole building, and it's basically an empty shell. So I don't know what will happen. Obviously a lot of funds have been raised for this, for the reconstruction, and they had cabinet makers, a team of them working on the library, so I don't know if they can still go ahead with that or what.
Colin, this is a building that the artistic community in Scotland, and indeed, you know, the wider artistic community across the world, really hold dear to their hearts. It's a very special place. You studied inside it, you've painted this building. Describe to people what made it so special.
I think just the history and who had studied there before. I personally had been determined to study there because of people who'd studied there before: Sandy Moffat, Alistair Gray, Liz Lockhead, Peter Howson, and I really wanted that to be the place where I studied painting. And I've just so many memories of the school. And as you say, recently, 2016, I did paintings of the school, and it was actually not long after the last fire, so it was all pretty recent in my mind and when I painted it. And it's just sad. I can't believe this has happened again. I really can't believe it.
And this is considered Charles Rennie Mackintosh's masterpiece, isn't it? Really, it was a very special place inside.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not, as you say, it's not just people who studied there. It's the whole of Glasgow and Scotland. It's such a meaningful building to everyone.
Do you think? I mean, I know it's initial early stages. You're not an expert on the fire, but from what you see, do you get a sense? Are you hoping it can be rebuilt? Are you optimistic it can be rebuilt given the extent of the damage that's been caused?
Well, I think we have to stay optimistic like last time, but as you say, I'm not an expert, so it's really something that you need to ask some expert about. How
do you feel now, though? You've got a chance to study there, you know, hopes for the future that others will too, but you were certainly one of the lucky ones from the past decade or so.
Yeah, and when I was on Facebook last night and today, all my friends from school are so sad. Everyone's so sad about it. I just don't know what the future holds, but I think it's best to be hopeful, and hopefully some of the money that's been raised already can be put towards some kind of reconstruction.
Okay, Colin Povey, thanks very much for that. Colin mentioned the money that was raised for that restoration work. That was estimated to be costing around £35 million. It was well underway. In the summer, they were expecting to put the windows back into the famous library, which is on this side of the Mackintosh building. But of course, all that work now stopped, all that work now undone, and they're pretty much back to square one when it comes to restoring this famous building after this devastating fire, which has caused such extensive damage overnight.